Hi, welcome back to Traffic Jam with Cam. Right now, while I'm recording, I feel like a new woman because I got my first pair of Madewell jeans. I love Madewell. I love to when I say I love it, I mean I love to go there and window shop. I don't usually ever buy anything from there, but they have the cutest stuff. And when I tried on this pair of jeans, I felt like my world changed. I was like, oh my gosh, I have hope in jeans again. Jeans can be comfortable and they just fit me so well. So I splurged, I got them, and now I've worn them 3 days in a row, and I know, I can't believe it. In case you're wondering, this episode is not about jeans, it's about dance. And I wanted to do a podcast episode about dance because dance has been such a gigantic part of my life. I love it so much. I could talk about it forever. It's just one of my very top favorite things ever in life. So I wanted to devote an episode talking about dance, my dance experience, how I found it, why I love it, what kind of dance I do, what I'm doing right now, things like that, because this is a personal journal podcast and I thought it'd be cool to document where I'm at right now in my dance life, in the dance part of my life, and yeah, document it so that I remember, and also it might be kind of interesting to listeners that are unfamiliar with dance, or I know I've mentioned it a bunch of times before in podcasts and maybe you're wondering. So this is the episode for you. When I was writing down some notes and preparing this episode, I have to say it was one of the most dreamy ways that I've done this before. I spent some time at a Smithsonian museum, believe it or not. I have posted about this on social media recently that the Smithsonian Natural History Museum is my very favorite one to visit. I love going there. Also, I really love the National Art Gallery, which is just right next door. There's also the Portrait Gallery. Oh my gosh, so many Smithsonian museums, all free in DC. But the Natural History Museum is my favorite one. And I was planning to go there yesterday because I wanted to get a couple things from the gift shop that my family requested. And I took a bus to the metro station that was one of the ones that was close to us. Rode the metro all by myself. Got off on the Federal Triangle stop. And I was walking around like a city girl. It was very exciting. I had a headphone in and I was listening to an audiobook, and it was super sunny, 90 degrees outside. I walked into the museum, got what I needed to, and I brought my notebook with me, and I was going to go to the art gallery, but I decided to just stay at the Natural History Museum. I found a little bench, sat down, whipped out my notebook, and was listening to my audiobook and just taking some notes, writing down some podcast ideas. I was surrounded by all the animals. Oh, it was very fun. So that was a nice way to prepare a podcast episode. And I thought that you guys would enjoy that because, like I've said in many podcasts before, it has been such a struggle living here in DC for a lot of reasons. It's been a whole new world, a crazy whirlwind experience. And there have been a lot of really, really hard things about it and a lot of downsides, a lot of good sides too. But I know that I've shared a lot of struggles pretty much from being here. So I just wanted to say that experience yesterday of riding the metro and going to the museum and sitting there and doing that all on my own just made me realize how far I've come in living here. It's still I'm really excited to be moving to Idaho. But overall, I just in these last few weeks of like our finishing up our time here has been a good opportunity for me to look back and reflect on the things that I've learned and like the skills that I have acquired since living here. And I really am glad that we came here because I have learned so many things about myself. It has made me a lot more brave, and it's stretched me in a lot of ways that have been very uncomfortable. But I mean, I couldn't get these skills anywhere else or like have these experiences anywhere else. And so I just felt really proud of myself for being able to take the metro on my own and like get into DC and be okay with going to a museum alone and finding ways to enjoy it. Another fun thing that I've done recently is went to the beach. Adam and I were hoping to squeeze in one more beach trip before we moved because the beach here, well, lots of beaches here are a shorter drive where we're living right now than when we live in Idaho. Again, the beaches will be very far away. So we did a day trip. We drove 3 hours to a beach in Delaware, and 3 hours back in the same day. And I'm really glad that we did. It was a good memory. We went to a really cute bookstore. We went to our favorite ice cream place that we had been the last time we were there. And we got majorly sunburned, which leads into my traffic jam of the week. Oh, actually, before I do the traffic jam of the week, I also just wanted to say that I went to this lunch, or it was like a brunch restaurant with my friend Hannah, and we got these lemon ricotta pancakes and like an omelet, and we split them and got to try some really good food. Oh, we also brought home a cinnamon toast crunch pumpkin cinnamon roll or something like that. They had some new things on their menu for fall, which I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe fall stuff is coming already. I'm not sad about it at all. But anyway, can you see I'm getting excited about these things? What I'm saying is we tried a really fun French spot, and it was just so fun to hang out with her. That's another huge bonus and blessing of living here, is that we have made some really amazing lifelong friends here, and that has totally saved me. So I just wanted to say also that I'm very grateful for the people that we've met, and I'm going to be very sad to leave them. Okay, the traffic jam of the week is that I got majorly sunburned, and Adam did too. I've definitely gotten sunburns before, never ever like this. I got some cheap sunscreen from Aldi and put it on twice, which was definitely not enough because we were out in the sun for like 5 or 6 hours. But I did have sunscreen. I did put it on. And seriously, by like 6-7 p.m. that night, maybe before then, we were like, we're burned really bad, and we're just super red. Also, that just happened to be the trip that I wanted to wear my new swimsuit that has like cutouts in it. And so I had and still have like a huge circle on my stomach and my back that were just tomato red. So that's fun. When we got home, and probably for the first 3 nights, we like did not sleep at all because we were in so much pain. We took like pain medicine. We tried aloe vera. We were just pretty much taking a bath in aloe vera, and it didn't really help. It was like so painful and stiff to move. You know, the sunburns were like, it's just your skin is like stiff and you can't move. It was so painful. I've never ever been burned like that before. Yeah, that was very terrible. Now it's like a week later, and I have full mobility, I'm happy to report. And peeling. Such a fun part of summer, right? It's great. You thought that was the only traffic jam of the week? Well, I have a bonus one for you today. This one I thought I would add in here because I actually meant to talk about it maybe like 3 episodes ago and I lost it in my notes somewhere. So I had to add this one in. And let's see if I can remember and tell the story right. I was at Arlington Cemetery, which I have been to before. We went there again when Adam's mom and aunts came to visit us. And there's a building that you check in. You go through security first before you can go out and into the cemetery. And also, this is a little plug. If anyone goes to visit Arlington Cemetery, bring your IDs. Everyone has to show their driver's license or ID because it's like a military base, military area. They don't always check them. We've been there before where they haven't checked them, but then we've also, the first time we ever went, we got there, I didn't have my driver's license and we had to go back home and get it and bring it back. So that's a little plug. Anyway, you go in this building, you check in, and there are bathrooms in there you can use. I went to the bathroom and I was washing my hands and there was this really cool girl standing there just leaned up against the wall. She was in this like bright pink jumpsuit. It was iconic, really. And she was like really like into her phone, like staring at it very intensely, doing something important, I'm sure. And I looked at her and I was like, I have to say something. Like, I love when someone compliments my outfit. And so I usually try to, like, if I see something in someone's outfit that I like, I'll definitely tell them. So I looked at her and I was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you that I love your jumpsuit. Like, that pink is so cute. It just looks so good on you. Like, you're really rocking it. And I'm like pretty close to her. Like, I was like, I said all of that like to her face. And she just keeps like looking at her phone and like pretended like I didn't say anything. And I was like, I kind of like looked at her, like waited for a second to see if like she was going to look up. But I'm like, there is absolutely no way that she did not hear me because the bathroom was not loud at all. There weren't really any other people in there. And I speak like pretty loudly, or at least I was trying to, and was like facing her, like in her, like standing in her way. So I was like, okay, and I just like walked past her, like left the bathroom, and I felt so embarrassed for a second. I was like, should I like have not said anything, or does she think that I'm like not cool enough for me to talk to her? So I don't know what the deal was. Maybe she really didn't hear me. It's totally possible. But I realized, okay, I don't need to feel embarrassed for that at all because like I didn't do anything wrong. I was like genuinely doing something to be nice and kind, and I like actually liked her outfit. There's nothing wrong with what I did, so I shouldn't feel stupid for it. So I just wanted to say that too, is don't feel dumb if you're trying to do something nice. And if someone says something to you, even if you think they're weird or whatever, just be nice and be receptive. And it's not that hard, but it might change someone's day or attitude. And yeah, that's all. Okay, let's talk about dance. So we're just jumping right in. From a young age, I really wanted to find my thing. I wanted to have something that I was good at or something that I could catch on quickly to. And I was mostly looking at sports. I tried, well, when I was really young, I did ice skating lessons, which was awesome. I also did hula lessons, also awesome. Neither of those I continued with because I was super young and we moved far away to both of the places that I was doing those lessons at, and so that did not continue. I tried soccer. I was seriously the worst, but really the way that I remember that, I was so young doing soccer, but I probably remember that I was so bad at it because my coach would tell me that. Like, I was always the last person picked when we would like play scrimmage games, and I was the one that got traded out all the time. Whenever we would run and like do drills at practice, and we would run, do like a long run or like a mile run around the park that we had our practice at, I was always the last one to get back. And I was so sad. Like, I just really wanted to be good at soccer. So anyway, that was not good. I even played like indoor soccer for a season, and I was put in the game for like 2 minutes. And then my parents were like, okay, I think like let's find something else. I tried basketball. I was on the C team. You know how they have A teams and B teams? Well, they made a C team for me and maybe 4 other players that they thought they still wanted to give a chance to, and that didn't last very long. I tried out for the volleyball team, and all of this is in middle school, by the way. Well, now we're in middle school. Basketball and volleyball, this is middle school. I tried out for the volleyball team, and I was one of like 3 girls that didn't make it on any team, not the A team, not the B team. I don't think they were going to have a C team. I tried tennis. I played tennis for 2 years, actually. And I think, well, the first year I was on the B team, but the second year I was on the A team, probably just because I was older and they made me feel better. I don't know. Maybe I was kind of good at tennis. I don't know. But still, I tried all of these sports and I was just not good at them. And also I didn't like them. Like, I wasn't enjoying them. I was feeling really discouraged and really sad, but I wanted to keep trying. I was like, I know that I'm going to find something that is my thing. I don't know why, like, looking back, I actually don't know why I wanted to find this so bad or why I thought there was something. I don't know where that came from, but I'm glad that I did, because I had a friend that was like, hey, you can come watch my dance class. I dance at a dance studio, and you can come watch the class and see if you would like it. So this is still in middle school. I went to the dance studio. I watched them do their practice, and immediately I was like, all right, this is the next thing I'm going to try. And my mom was like, okay, well, they were like, my parents were so supportive. Just everything I wanted to try, whatever my next endeavor was, they were totally willing to help me figure out what I wanted to do. So I signed up for summer classes at this same dance studio. I took maybe a jazz class and a ballet class, I think, and I was really concerned about catching up. I feel like a lot of sports you maybe start in elementary school, middle school, sometimes even high school, and you can get good at them. But dance was something that I thought you had to start at a super young age, and you were trained, you started dance from 3-4 years old, and you're trained in ballet, trained in, whatever technique you're learning, and that was how you got good. And so that was something that I was really nervous about. I was like, am I the only one? I really thought that I was the only one that hadn't started dancing when they were little. Luckily, this really helped me be even more determined. I thought, okay, I'm taking these summer technique classes. This is my time to catch up. Like, if I really want to do this, then I'm going to push myself really hard. And I did, and I took another year of studio classes there, and I feel like I caught on really quickly, and my teachers and other mentors noticed the same thing. And I lucked out because in my last year of middle school, one of the high school girls made a middle school dance team. I tried out for that. That team was meant to prepare middle schoolers to try out for the competition high school dance team. and it definitely prepared me, introduced me to other styles like hip hop, and I got more of the high school dance team feel. I tried out for the high school dance team and I made it, and I progressed really quickly. I still was so determined to catch up. I was really focused on getting early to practice, staying late after practice to make up for what I thought I had lost and make up for that training. And so I think that was a big part of how I improved as a dancer, but also because it clicked with me so quickly, I feel like also it's just because I had some kind of natural dance ability, I guess you could say. I just knew, after taking that first summer class, I was like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to do, which was pretty cool and pretty exciting to me after looking for a long time and trying other sports to find this thing that made me happier than anything I have ever done before. Was really amazing, super rewarding. I'll talk a little bit more about how the high school dance team worked, because that was a big chunk of my dance career, I guess you could say, where I learned the most and where I had the most dance experience. So I was on the high school dance team all 4 years, and the season starts in August and ends in March or April. So you'd have summer camps like conditioning, strength and conditioning, technique classes throughout the summer, maybe like June and July. And then you would have a big camp in July or August that was kind of an intensive, like a 3-ish day camp that you would learn a ton of choreography and prepare for the upcoming season. So then once school started, we would do some dance routines at assemblies, football halftimes. Once you got into basketball season, do basketball halftimes, and all during those months we were having practice as well to prepare for our competition season. So dances that we would perform at halftime games were really for us to have a chance to perform in front of an audience so that we'd be more prepared for competition. And then competition season started in January, and that went from January to March. We'd go to a handful of competitions every month and then have districts and hopefully qualify for state. And then our state competitions were in March, I believe. And then my senior year we went to nationals, which was after that. And then you have auditions. Well, actually, you have a spring show after that for all the parents and other people that want to come watch all of your routines. And then you have auditions, for the next year. And that's around April. So it's pretty much a year-round sport, and I did it all 4 years. The practices we would have as a team, we had every morning, Monday through Friday at 5:45 a.m. This was a huge commitment and a huge life lesson learning thing for me. Dance team and dance in general taught me so many life lessons, but being on this dance team taught me discipline and punctuality. It was so important to be on time. Not only so that you yourself as a dancer could be successful and so you get the most out of like your time there at the practice, but also so that you're there for your team. It's so much focused on teamwork and being there for your teammates. We learned several routines in the fall and then would also compete those routines. So we did hip hop, kick, military, small dance, large dance. What am I missing? Prop. And then you had solos a lot of the time. I don't even know if I could pick a favorite, but I really learned to love the contemporary style. And so usually our large dance or small dance would be contemporary or lyrical kind of thing. Hip hop was so fun. Military, I really surprisingly loved because of how sharp and precise all of the movements were. All of these routines you would prepare. You go through, make sure all the team knows the choreography. Everyone was responsible for really memorizing the choreography on their own. And then when you were at practice, it was getting down the routines together as a team, going through formations, cleaning to make sure that everyone is on the same page with counts. And, you know, you're bending your arm, just everyone's bending their arm exactly the same, or everyone's stepping with their left foot on two or whatever. I really liked the precision of it and how like strict and disciplined it was. I think that was really good for me. Practices were pretty much like this. You came in at 5:45. Well, actually, you were there before 5:45, but practice started at 5:45. You did a little cardio, warm up, stretch for 10-15 minutes. Sometimes do some technique. That's usually at the beginning of the season, where you do technique across the floor to practice leaps, turns, tricks. And then the rest of the practice was spent either running routines to get endurance up or cleaning, like I mentioned, going through and making sure everyone's doing the exact same movement on the exact same count. Like I mentioned before, dance taught me a lot of things. It really taught me confidence, I would say. That was something that I struggled with, and realizing that I had gained these skills on my own and I had become a better dancer because of my tenacity, discipline. Really, it gave me more confidence, and performing in front of people took a lot of courage, and I developed a lot of confidence and more surety in myself because of dance. I also would say that teamwork, that's a huge thing that I mentioned. And then also like self-motivation, because, oh my gosh, it takes a lot of motivation to get up every morning at 5 to prepare for practice. And also as a leader, even when I wasn't in leadership positions on the team, I think it was really good for me to step up and be an example, like lead by example. My junior year, I got to be a co-captain of the team, which was a really neat experience because I was trusted with a lot of leadership responsibilities, and I'm so glad that I was, because I learned how to lead a team. I learned how to help motivate a team. I got to organize some things on my own, got some free reign, and I felt like the coaches really trusted me. So that was a really good, important life lesson. Another huge life lesson that came from dance came in my senior year. I was one of the people that ran to be a council member. So our team had a council. It was made up of 2 captains that were seniors, 2 co-captains that were juniors, and then a couple other roles. And I had been a co-captain the previous year, and I was really excited to try to be captain for my senior year. And there were different events and team building things that we were a part of, or that we got to work on over the summer to be together and get to know each other better. And when the time came for everyone to vote for who they wanted to be the captains and council members, I wasn't chosen to be captain. So the captains of our team ended up being the girl that I was co-captains with, and we were juniors together the previous year. And then the other one was a girl she was another senior. This was her first year on the team. It was so hard to not be devastated by that. That was like, when you think back to like your high school days, I feel like that was like a huge, like monumental life thing. It was like, oh my gosh, like how is this happening? It was like my dream to be captain. I didn't get chosen. Like, what could I have done better? And so moving forward from that, I knew right away that then my responsibility was going to be to support and encourage the people that were in this leadership position or leadership title, that I would be a good team member and I would support them in how they needed help. And I did get to have another role as a council member, and I was responsible for team motivation, and I really tried to step into that and help motivate the team in other ways. And I would say sometimes I look back and I'm like, I still don't really know what I was supposed to learn from that. But one thing I do think that is a takeaway is that I still could lead without the title. That's really what I tried to focus on, is that I could still be a leader and be an example without having the title of captain. And that was really hard to come to terms with, but that is life. And I know that there will be other times in life where a similar thing will happen, where I'll think that I am qualified or that I deserve something and it doesn't happen, and that's just the way it is, and that's just what happens. And it was a humbling experience. It was that was a really pivotal time, I would say, in my life and in my dance career. Overall, I loved my experience of being on the dance team, and that, my gosh, I just look back on it with the best memories. I remember all the good things. Definitely there were negative things like everything else. But after that, I went straight to college. I went to college a month after I graduated from high school, and really my focus was on my education. All I wanted at that point was to get into a dental hygiene program and to become a hygienist. I have talked about this before, that I figured out that I wanted to be a hygienist pretty early on in middle school and high school. That was really what my interest was. And so my goal after high school was really to just follow this career path and become a hygienist. So I was really set on my education, on my grades. I really missed dance throughout college. I know that this was the path that I was supposed to go on and that I was supposed to go to dental hygiene school, but it would have been awesome to be on a collegiate team. When I was in college, I did take a contemporary class one semester, and then I also would take classes occasionally when I would visit home. Another thing I would do when I missed dance is I would put in my headphones, and then in my college apartment room, I would play old music from dance routines that I had done in high school, and I would do the routines in my room so I could keep up on my dance skills and technique and things like that, where I didn't have access to classes and things like that. And I can say to this day, because I still ran those routines, that like almost all of the routines from my senior year, I can still do them right now. I remember the choreography 5 years later. So that's a little random fun fact about me, something that I'm very proud of. So if any of my Wild Pride girls are listening, then I'm always down to get together and, pretend like we're on the team again. In my senior year of college, I had the opportunity to be an assistant coach of a high school dance team in the college town that I was at. I learned a lot from that as well. That was quite the experience. It was a pretty young team that I coached, and I also was the assistant coach. The head coach was really wanting to be the main person there, really. Like, I was there to help, but I didn't get to have a lot of the responsibilities that I was hoping for. And also, it was cool to coach, but at that time I remember thinking, oh, I wish that I was the dancer. So I'm really glad that I got coaching experience. It was fun to be able to be on the teaching side instead of the athlete side. But I do wish that I would have been trusted with more responsibility and gotten to have more exposure in that role. Fast forward, I graduate college, I moved to DC, still really missing dance, and I was struggling a lot mentally, and I found a dance studio here. I was so happy. I was so relieved. I knew that this was just what I needed, and this studio here had adult classes. A lot of dance studios have classes for kids until you're 18, and then that's it. But the studio that I found here had adult evening classes, and I took mostly modern. That was the class that I would go to almost every week. But I also did ballet and musical theater, which was really fun to try different styles again. The modern class, I loved that. Like, modern contemporary style is definitely where my heart is at, but I love everything. Going to those dance classes was my refuge. I was so grateful that I found a place where I could dance again. I felt so much like myself. And I just need to backtrack and say that that was something that I noticed almost immediately when I took that first dance class when I was in middle school. Is as soon as I started dancing, I was like, this feels so right. Like, it feels like me. And whenever I was sick, or if I had an injury or something that was bothering me, the whole time of my life that I've danced, whenever I dance, that kind of goes away. If I was feeling sick and I would go to dance practice, the whole time during dance practice, I wouldn't feel sick. Like, I would forget that I had a cold or whatever, and then dance practice would end and I would go back to feeling sick. It was the weirdest thing, but also pretty cool, because yeah, dance is medicine for me. Well, now I'm moving back to Idaho. I'm really sad that I can't take studio classes anymore from that awesome place that I found in DC. But hopefully, moving back to Idaho, I'm going to have some more teaching opportunities and more adult classes, hopefully, to do some more dance. I don't know what the future is going to be like, but I'm excited, and I want to continue dancing forever because it is my biggest passion and it just brings me the most happiness. So I appreciate you listening. I wanted to document this journey just for myself. I thought it would be fun to review my dance life thus far. If there's a takeaway for today, I would say it's okay to look and try for your thing. I really believe that everyone has something that can be special like that to them. Doesn't have to be a sport. Could be something artistic. Could be some skill or ability or talent that you have that is unique to you. But look for it. I really believe it's important for all of us to find what that is and just keep trying and don't give up, because eventually you'll find it and you'll be happy that you did, and you'll learn a lot of valuable life skills from that. Also, sometimes life isn't fair and things don't turn out the way that you hoped, but work hard on being a loving, supportive human teammate, leader, and good things will come out of it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Traffic Jam with Cam. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a rating and review so that the podcast can reach more people. I post new episodes on Monday mornings, and you can find me on Instagram at Traffic Jam Podcast. Talk to you next time. Bye.